Good evening. This is All India Radio. I'm Manoj Singh Rana, and with me is Prashant Kumar Sinha with the evening news. The headlines: Centre to begin free distribution of 75% of total COVID vaccines to all states and union territories from tomorrow. Over 27 crore 66 lakh doses of COVID-19 vaccine administered in the country so far. COVID national recovery rate improves to 96.27%. Uttar Pradesh announces relaxations in lockdown restrictions from tomorrow. Prime Minister to address lead event on the occasion of International Yoga Day tomorrow. Minister State for Education Sanjay Dhotri to represent India in G20 Education Ministers meet on the 22nd of this month. Government announces establishment of 5 Divyangata Khel Kendras in different parts of the country. IT rules finalized after due discussion with various stakeholders, says India's permanent mission to the United Nations. In cricket, New Zealand restrict India at 217 in their first innings on Day 3 of World Test Championship final at Southampton. And in Euro Cup football, Italy to face Wales, while Switzerland to take on Turkey in Group A matches tonight. As the nation gears up for free COVID-19 vaccination campaign at government facilities for those above 18 years from tomorrow, we advise our listeners to get vaccinated. We also advise our listeners not to lower their guard as COVID-19 remains a threat to our health. Please stay at home unless it is essential to go out and continue to follow the 4 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene, and get vaccinated. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011 2397 8046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. The centre will kickstart from tomorrow the free distribution of 75% of total COVID vaccines cleared by the Central Drug Lab to all states and union territories. This includes vaccines for beneficiaries of all age group, including those between 18 and 44 years. The move is aimed at strengthening and further ramping up the COVID-19 vaccination drive in the country. The procurement of vaccines by the centre, which is currently 50% of the total doses cleared by the Central Drug Lab, will now be enhanced to 75%. The vaccines will then be given to all states and union territories for administration to people of all age groups. The remaining 25% of vaccines can be purchased by the private hospitals, who will be able to charge a maximum service charge of 150 rupees for a single dose, in addition to the fixed price of the vaccine. The announcement regarding this was made by Prime Minister Narendra Modi on the 7th of this month in his address to the nation.
21 जून सोमवार से देश के हर राज्य में 18 वर्ष से ऊपर की उम्र के सभी नागरिकों के लिए भारत सरकार राज्यों को मुफ्त वैक्सीन मुहैया कराएगी। वैक्सीन निर्माताओं से कुल वैक्सीन उत्पादन का 75% हिस्सा भारत सरकार खुद ही खरीदकर राज्य सरकारों को मुफ्त देगी। यानी देश की किसी भी राज्य सरकार को वैक्सीन पर कुछ भी खर्च नहीं करना होगा।
After commencement of this policy, the states and union territories will not have to pay any amount for the procurement of vaccines, as the centre will bear the entire expenses for the same. An early estimate suggests that the new policy will cost the centre over 15,000 crore rupees, more than its previously allocated 35,000 crore rupees for the vaccination programme in the current financial year. More than 29 crore 10 lakh COVID vaccine doses have been provided to states and union territories through the centre and the direct state procurement category. Of this, the total consumption, including wastages, is 26 crore 4 lakh 19,412 doses as per the latest data. The Health Ministry said over 3.06 crore COVID vaccine doses are still available with states and UTs to be administered. More than 24 lakh 53,000 vaccine doses are in the pipeline and will be received by states and UTs within the next 3 days.
The Health Ministry has informed that fresh COVID cases remained below the 1 lakh mark in the country for the 13th consecutive day today. The recoveries registered in the country also outnumbered daily new cases for the 38th consecutive day today. The country also witnessed less than 60,000 fresh COVID cases in a day after 81 days. 58,419 fresh cases were recorded nationwide in the past 24 hours. Over 87,000 COVID patients recovered in the same time span. With this, the COVID recovery rate in the country has further improved to 96.27%. Minister of Culture Prahlad Singh Patel has appealed to all eligible people to get themselves vaccinated, as COVID vaccine is a very effective tool in providing protection from infection. Talking to AIR News, Mr. Patel said there is nothing to fear from vaccination.
वैक्सीन के अलावा कोई दूसरा कवच है नहीं, और इसलिए लेकिन 18 प्लस के जो लोग हैं उनमें कहीं कोई दुविधा नहीं है। वो बड़े उत्साह के साथ में इस कार्यक्रम में शामिल होंगे और इसमें ना तो अति उत्साह दिखाना चाहिए और न इससे डरना चाहिए। मैं ये बात इसलिए कह रहा हूँ कि ये चरणबद्ध उपलब्धता के आधार पर इसका वैक्सीनेशन होना है, तो जो सहमत है उनको पहले वैक्सीनेशन करवाना चाहिए और मुझे विश्वास है कि उनके लगवाने के बाद बाकी लोग भी प्रेरित होंगे।
In an exclusive interview to All India Radio News, Secretary in the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Rajesh Bhushan, shared main features of the nationwide campaign for COVID-19 vaccination, which is starting from tomorrow.
In rural areas, people can go individually or in groups to a COVID vaccination center, get themselves registered then and there, and they would also be provided vaccination then and there. In addition to all this, we are also providing the facility of near-to-home COVID vaccination centers and worksite COVID vaccination centers. So these are the main features of this revised guideline, which will come into effect from 21st of this month.
The Odisha government plans to begin a massive vaccination drive against COVID-19 from tomorrow. The state aims to vaccinate about 3 lakh beneficiaries per day. More from our Bhubaneswar correspondent.
With the centre providing free vaccines to the states to vaccinate people above 18 years of age with effect from tomorrow, the Odisha government has planned to vaccinate a whopping 3 lakh beneficiaries every day. Accordingly, it has decided to expand the drive in all the blocks and urban local bodies in the state. In a directive, it has asked the collectors and municipal commissioners to ensure at least 5 sessions in each block and notified area council, 10 sessions in each municipality, and at least 20 sessions in each municipal corporation area. They have also been directed to mobilize the beneficiaries who are due for the second dose of vaccine. While Odisha is fast approaching the 1 crore vaccination mark, it has a total of about 3 crore 9 lakh people above 18 years of age to be taken care of in terms of COVID-19 inoculation. Girish Chandradas, AIR News, Bhubaneswar.
Odisha Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik today announced a special scheme to provide financial support to orphans. The scheme, named as Ashirwad, is meant to offer financial support to orphan children who have lost both their parents, either of the earning parents or the single parent. Under the scheme, different slabs of financial support, the maximum up to 2,500 rupees per month, have been envisioned for such children in distress who were rendered orphan on or after the 1st of April 2020. In Uttar Pradesh, malls, restaurants and other shopping complexes can open from tomorrow as the state government has announced more relaxations in COVID restrictions. New guidelines have been issued by Chief Secretary of State Rajendra Kumar Tiwari for the Corona curfew, but strict adherence to the COVID protocols will be a must. More from our Lucknow correspondent.
Now 50 persons can attend the marriage functions and religious programs at a given time in a state with strict adherence to the COVID protocol. As per new order, shopping malls and restaurants will be allowed to operate with 50% capacity on weekdays till 9 p.m. Other standalone shops and market complexes can also remain open for 5 days a week now. Government has made it very clear that COVID help desk and pulse oximeters will be a must at the entry gates of malls, restaurants or any other gathering. Vegetable and fruit markets which are in the congested areas will be shifted to open areas and it will be administration's responsibility to maintain the social distancing there. Government has decided to grant 2 more hours of relaxation in the statewide night curfew that currently remains imposed in all its 75 districts. Now shops in the state can open from 7 a.m. in the morning to 9 p.m. in the evening. Night curfew will now be imposed from 9 p.m. in the evening across the state. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
In Jammu and Kashmir, as the spread of COVID-19 infection has shown considerable declining trend, the authorities today passed orders to permit a few more activities in 8 districts of the Union Territory. These 8 districts are Jammu, Samba, Kathua, Riyasi and Udhampur in the Jammu division, and Shopian, Gandarbal and Bandipora in the Kashmir Valley. There will be no weekend curfew in these districts. However, daily night curfew will continue to remain in force from 8 p.m. to 7 a.m. In Meghalaya, 390 fresh COVID-19 cases were recorded today, bringing the total active cases to 4,587 in the state. According to the Directorate of Health Services, the state also reported 542 recoveries, adding the recovered cases to 39,919. On the other hand, 4 infected people died today, taking the COVID-19 death toll to 780 in the state.
The number of deaths in Brazil related to COVID-19 has surpassed the 5 lakh figure, the second highest in the world. Experts say the outbreak could worsen amidst low vaccination and the start of winter. They said the virus continues to spread as President Jair Bolsonaro refuses to back measures like social distancing. The Health Institute Fiocruz says the situation is critical. Only 15% of adults are fully vaccinated. Congress is investigating the government's handling of the pandemic. President Bolsonaro has been heavily criticized for not implementing a coordinated national response and for his skepticism towards vaccines, lockdowns and mask-wearing requirements, which he has sought to loosen. The president has said the impact of lockdowns on the economy would be worse than the virus and insists he has done all he can to buy vaccines from several countries. You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Centre to begin free distribution of 75% of total COVID vaccines to all states and union territories from tomorrow. Over 27 crore 66 lakh doses of COVID-19 vaccine administered in the country so far. COVID national recovery rate improved to 96.27%. Uttar Pradesh announces relaxations in lockdown restrictions from tomorrow. Prime Minister to address lead event on the occasion of International Yoga Day tomorrow. Minister of State for Education Sanjay Dhotre to represent India in the G20 Education Ministers meet on the 22nd of this month. Government announces establishment of 5 Divyangta Khel Kendras in different parts of the country. IT rules finalized after due discussion with various stakeholders, says India's permanent mission to the United Nations. In cricket, New Zealand restrict India to 217 in their first innings on day 3 of World Test Championship final at Southampton. And in the Euro Cup football, Italy to face Wales, while Switzerland to take on Turkey in Group A matches tonight. For quick news updates around the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे. The centre is disseminating awareness of national helpline numbers for the benefit of citizens during the COVID-19 pandemic. The helpline number of the Health and Family Welfare Ministry is 1075. The child helpline number is 1098. For senior citizens of Delhi, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu, Telangana, Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand, the helpline number is 14567. The helpline number of National Institute of Mental Health and Neurosciences, NIMHANS, for psychological support is 08046110007. Ayush COVID-19 Counselling helpline number is 14443 and MyGov WhatsApp help desk number is 9013151515.
Welcome back to the evening news. The 7th International Day of Yoga will be observed tomorrow. In view of the COVID-19 pandemic and the consequent restrictions in congregational activities, the lead event of the International Day of Yoga will be a televised program with Prime Minister Narendra Modi's address being the highlight. Scheduled to start at 6:30 a.m. on all Doordarshan channels, the event will also include an address by Minister of State for Ayush, Kiren Rijiju, and a live yoga demonstration by the Morarji Desai National Institute of Yoga. In a tweet today, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that the theme this year is Yoga for Wellness, which focuses on practicing yoga for physical and mental well-being. Talking exclusively to All India Radio News, Minister of Culture Prahlad Singh Patel said that Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address the lead event related to this program tomorrow in the morning, and after that all yoga-related programs will be held. Mr. Patel said the Union Ministry of Culture will celebrate International Yoga Day this year under the Yoga is an Indian Heritage campaign. He said his ministry has identified 75 cultural and historical places in the country where the Yoga Day will be celebrated by following COVID protocol. Mr. Patel also appealed to the people to make yoga a mass movement as its benefits are well known.
संस्कृति मंत्रालय ने 75 स्थान चिन्हित किए हैं। वो स्वतंत्रता के आंदोलन से जुड़े हुए हैं या वो विश्व स्तरीय स्मारक है। क्योंकि देश की आजादी के 75वें वर्ष का अमृत महोत्सव मनाया जा रहा है, तो 75 स्थानों पर ये कार्यक्रम करेंगे, जिसमें 30 स्थानों से लाइव कार्यक्रम होगा ताकि देश और दुनिया देख सके। और हमारा मानना है कि ये जन आंदोलन बने, इसलिए सभी संस्थाओं से, व्यक्तियों से मैं प्रार्थना करता हूँ कि इसमें शामिल होकर इसे जन आंदोलन बनाए। योग असाध्य को साध्य बनाने की प्रक्रिया है और इसलिए ये हम सबके लिए लाभदायी है। किसी भी स्थान पर 21 से ज्यादा लोग नहीं होंगे। जो भी SOPs राज्यों की हैं, उनका अच्छे से पालन करना ये हमारी पहली प्राथमिकता होगी और हम सबकी जिम्मेदारी है कि हम इसका पालन करें।
The Culture Minister also said that yoga is very beneficial during the pandemic as it helps people recover from post-COVID complications.
मुझे लगता है कि दुनिया के पास में पोस्ट कोविड शायद गारंटी के साथ कहने के लिए कुछ नहीं, लेकिन भारत के पास है। और जो भी वेलनेस के बारे में सोचते हैं या समझते हैं, वो जानते हैं कि योगा हो, आयुष हो या आयुर्वेद हो, ये तीनों भारत की धरती पर उपलब्ध है। चाहे व्यक्ति के नाते मोटिवेटर की बात हो, चाहे स्थानों की बात हो, चाहे जलवायु की बात हो। इसलिए हमारे पास में योगा, आयुष और आयुर्वेद तीनों पोस्ट कोरोना के लिए बहुत महत्वपूर्ण चीजें हैं। और मुझे लगता है कि इन बातों की तैयारी के लिए पर्यटन मंत्रालय हो, संस्कृति मंत्रालय हो या हमारा आयुष मंत्रालय हो, आयुष मंत्रालय ने वैसे भी बहुत काम किया है, तो मैं मानता हूँ ये बहुत जरूरी है।
The missions of India abroad are coordinating various activities in the run-up to this day in their respective countries. And as per reports, the Yoga Day will be observed in about 190 countries globally. The United Nations General Assembly, UNGA, proclaimed the 21st of June as the International Day of Yoga in their resolution adopted on the 11th December 2014. Our correspondent has more details.
Lakhs of yoga lovers have already committed themselves to be part of this activity, doing yoga from the safety of their own homes. Those who require guidance for performing common yoga protocol are invited to follow the live demonstration from the lead event, which will be televised on all Doordarshan channels. The yoga demonstration will follow the Prime Minister's address, which is scheduled from 7 a.m. to 7:45 a.m. The live yoga demonstration will be further followed by messages from 15 spiritual leaders and yoga gurus, including Gurudev Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, Sadguru Jaggi Vasudev, Dr. H.R. Nagendra, Kamlesh Patel, Dr. Virendra Hegde and Sister B.K. Shivani. International Day of Yoga over the years has not only boosted yoga's popularity but also expanded its geographical presence by inspiring its adoption in several new territories. Anand Kumar, AIR News, Delhi.
Ahead of the International Day of Yoga tomorrow, the News Services Division of All India Radio in its Spotlight program is bringing you an exclusive interview with Secretary in the Ministry of Ayush, Ved Rajesh Kotecha, on preparations for the Yoga Day tomorrow.
From the beginning, when we have started 100 days countdown of International Day of Yoga 2021, we have started propagating this theme of Be with Yoga and Be at Home. The suggestion came from visitors of our social media, state governments, yoga organizations and different ministries of the Government of India. So Be with Yoga and Be at Home is largely popularized now, and everybody is having this message that now this year we'll do yoga but we'll stay home.
The full interview can be heard tonight on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:15 onwards.
India's contribution to the world is yoga to attain freedom from stress, depression and anxiety. Our Bengaluru correspondent has sent this story on the eve of International Yoga Day. More on this from our Bengaluru correspondent.
The humanity at large is finding solace from Yogasana. The breath control meditation and adoption of specific bodily posture bring harmony between mind and body. It is an art and science of healthy living. The former registrar of S. Vyasa Yoga University and Chief Operating Officer of Indian Academy Group of Institutions, Dr. Srinidhi Parthasarathy says that yoga is for world peace and harmony.
Yogaha karmasu kaushalam. Dexterity in work is yoga. And while working, there might be a lot of turbulences which happens outside us. But to control the mind, Samatva Yoga Uchyate is the other definition of yoga. Not only developing ourselves, not only improving ourselves, but to spread happiness to the people around us, to the planet, to the society, and to the entire universe. Yoga is for peace and harmony. Happy International Day of Yoga.
Dr. Parthasarathy says that yoga has answers to all our inner turmoil. Sudhindra, AIR News, Bengaluru.
In Uttar Pradesh, all preparations are in place to celebrate International Yoga Day at home and with the help of online platforms. The event will also be used to disseminate information on ways to stop the spread of coronavirus. Minister of State for Education Sanjay Dhotre will represent India in the G20 Education Ministers meet on the 22nd of this month. He will also attend the joint meeting of G20 Ministers for Education and Labour and Employment on the same day. The two meetings are being held in a blended mode under the chairmanship of Italy. India will be participating in virtual mode.
The government today announced establishment of 5 Divyangata Khel Kendras in different parts of the country. Social Justice and Empowerment Minister Thawar Chand Gehlot has said the decision has been taken looking at the interest towards the sports among Divyangjan and their good performance in Paralympics. He said one such facility will be opened in Ahmedabad. Mr. Gehlot was virtually addressing the Samajik Adhikarita Shivir for distribution of aids and assistive devices to Divyangjan in Jamnagar. The permanent mission of India to the United Nations and other international organizations in Geneva have responded to the concerns raised by the Special Procedures Branch of the Human Rights Council regarding India's new IT rules. In a letter, the permanent mission clarified that the IT rules finalized after due discussions with various stakeholders. It informed that the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology and the Ministry of Information Broadcasting undertook broad consultation 2018 with various stakeholders to prepare the draft rules. An interministerial meeting had discussed in detail the comments received in detail and the rules were finalized accordingly.
Employees Provident Fund Organization EPFO has added around 12.76 lakh net subscribers during April of this year. Despite the second wave of COVID-19 pandemic, the month registered an increase of 13.73% net subscribers addition as compared to the previous month, during which around 11.22 lakh net subscribers were added to the payroll. The recently published provisional payroll data of EPFO reflects the number of exits in the month of April 2021 have declined by over 87,000 and rejoining has increased by over 92,000 subscribers as compared to March. World Refugee Day is being observed today to respect and honor the courage and resilience of refugees across the globe. The United Nations designated the day to celebrate the strength and courage of people forced to flee their homes and countries to escape conflict or persecution. World Refugee Day is also a day to build empathy and understanding of their plight and to recognize their efforts in rebuilding their lives. The day recognizes the rights, needs and dreams of refugees.
With less than 34 days remaining for the start of the Tokyo Olympics, All India Radio brings a special series on India's medal prospects at the sporting extravaganza. Today, we'll talk about India's hope in the shooting, Deepak Kumar. Indian Air Force Shooter Sergeant Deepak Kumar was born on the 5th of November 1987 in Delhi. Deepak did his schooling from Gurukul Pondha in Dehradun, where he learned how to control the psychology and physiology of the human body.
देखिए, गुरुकुल ने मेरी जो पृष्ठभूमि है वो इतनी अच्छे तरीके से बनाई कि अपने इमोशंस को कंट्रोल में रखो कि जो गुरुकुल ने मुझे शिक्षा दीक्षा दी उसके तहत मैं अपने आप को समझता हूँ कि सिर्फ मैं नॉर्मल इंसान हूँ, इसके अलावा कुछ भी नहीं हूँ.
Deepak Kumar won a bronze medal in the 10-meter air rifle event along with Mehuli Ghosh at the 2018 ISSF World Cup in Guadalajara. Asian Games silver medalist shooter Deepak Kumar is hoping for a gold medal in the Tokyo Olympics.
ऐसा सपोर्ट हमें मिल रहा है तो हम डैम श्योर कि जितने भी एथलीट इंडिया से ओलंपिक के लिए जाएंगे वो भारत का नाम रोशन करेंगे और भारत का झंडा ऊपर ही करके आएंगे.
The list of Deepak's medals is very long. Deepak won bronze medal in the Commonwealth Shooting Championship in 2017 held in Czech Republic. The year 2018 brought him some more medals in shooting. He won the silver medal at the 2018 Asian Games and then bagged the bronze medal in Mexico. In 2018, he won a silver medal in the mixed event at the Munich World Cup 2019 and then a gold medal in the mixed event at the Rio World Cup 2019. In men's cricket, India were bundled out for 217 in their first innings against New Zealand on the third day of the World Test Championship final at Southampton. In reply, New Zealand were 43 for no loss when reports last came in. Yesterday, bad light led to the umpires finishing day 2 early than in scheduled time. The one-off match marks the culmination of a 2-year cycle of the inaugural WTC launched in 2019.
In Eurocup football, Germany thrashed Portugal 4-2 in the Group F encounter at Munich last night. Germany is now at the second spot in Group F with 3 points from 2 games, while Portugal is at the third spot with 3 points from as many games. In a Group E game, the match between Spain and Poland ended in a draw. The draw helped Poland to keep alive their hopes of reaching the knockouts. A defeat for Poland would have resulted in their elimination. Tonight, Italy will play against Wales, while Switzerland will take on Turkey in Group A matches at 9:30. Organizers of the Tokyo Olympics opened the athletes' village to the media today, showing off apartments and a timber-laced shopping plaza where 11,000 athletes would stay and mingle during the sporting extravaganza. The once delayed games are due to start on the 23rd of July amid concern that the influx of thousands of people from around the world would contribute to the spread of COVID-19. Athletes will be shuttled in and out of the village and will be tested for the coronavirus every day. Olympic rules ban singing and chanting during events, with masks required at almost all times.
US President Joe Biden plans to host Israel's President Reuven Rivlin at the White House on the 28th of June. White House spokeswoman Jen Psaki said in a statement yesterday that President Rivlin's visit will highlight the enduring partnership between the United States and Israel and the deep ties between governments and people of both the countries. Rivlin will visit shortly before he is due to end his 7-year term in July this year.
Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. Srinagar will be partly cloudy with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storms. Temperature will hover between 16 and 28 degrees Celsius. Jammu will have partly cloudy skies with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storms. The minimum temperature will be 21 degrees Celsius while the maximum around 35 degrees. Leh is expected to have generally cloudy skies with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. The minimum and maximum temperature will be between 10 and 23 degrees Celsius. Gilgit will have generally cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storms. The temperature will hover between 15 and 23 degrees Celsius. In Muzaffarabad, the sky will be partly cloudy, minimum temperatures around 16 degrees Celsius and maximum around 28 degrees. National capital Delhi is likely to have partly cloudy sky with possibility of development of thunder and lightning. The temperature will hover between 27 and 37 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. The minimum temperature will be around 26 degrees while the maximum around 34 degrees.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Centre to begin free distribution of 75% of total COVID vaccines to all states and union territories from tomorrow. Over 27 crore 66 lakh doses of COVID-19 vaccine administered in the country so far. COVID national recovery rate improves to 96.27%. Uttar Pradesh announces relaxations in lockdown restrictions from tomorrow. Prime Minister to address lead event on the occasion of International Yoga Day tomorrow. Minister of State for Education Sanjay Dhotre to represent India in G20 Education Ministers meet on the 22nd of this month. Government announces establishment of 5 Divyangata Khel Kendras in different parts of the country. IT rules finalized after due discussion with various stakeholders, says India's permanent mission to United Nations. In cricket, New Zealand restrict India at 217 in their first innings on day 3 of World Test Championship final at Southampton. And in Euro Cup football, Italy to face Wales, while Switzerland to take on Turkey in Group A matches tonight. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website newsonair.com and News on AIR app. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.